Okay, so this is a bit of an amendment video for the last review I just did. Probably not gonna upload this till the next day, so this is Sunday morning. I'll upload this, but so watch my initial review for Stay Alive, and then come and watch this. Okay, so it's amendment. So apparently I messed up a little bit. After I got done watching or doing the review, I put on the Dead Meat podcast. They're talking about Stay Alive, and apparently, well, scene I talked about is actually not in the cut that I watched. But I know about that scene so much I thought it was because I watched Decker Shadow's review of it that he did with Creepy and long hair creepy guy, whatever. And so I know that scene. I've seen it in other people's reviews. I know that scene. So I mistook it for being in the PG-13 cut. And that is the scene where the cop who plays the game dies like he does in the game. Apparently, there are a bunch of differences between the PG-13 and the unrated cut because Disney said it had to be PG-13. Apparently, the video game animation to how the cop dies in the video game in the PG-13 version is better than the one in rated R because it looks like an unrendered type thing with blood squirting out, whereas this one looks better in the PG-13 version because you don't see the blood spurt because it's PG-13, you know. And then there's the cop's death in real life, which you don't. They're completely gone. The scene where he goes to talk to the guy at the GameStop or whatever, gone. Which is weird because that guy shows up at the end of the movie, so it's very confusing. Again, I was just trained that scene was in there. There's also more of Jimmy Simpson in the unrated version, which, yes, please, I love Jimmy Simpson. And there's a whole sequence, like it's 15 minutes longer. There's a whole chunk where, like I mentioned, in the unrated cut, they go to see the game developer, right? Well, apparently they do that, and they talk to him about what's going on, and he's like, well, I don't have anything to do with that. There's this lady. So they go to see this lady at some bookstore. It's Alice Krink. She plays this lady who tells all about Elizabeth Bathory and all that stuff. And then that's where they go back. And so I'm thinking, okay, so since the cop scene's not in there, maybe the scene where Wendell and other cops show up at the house to run, to have Swink and October run off isn't in the theatrical cut. No, it is. It still is. According to the James and Chelsea, that's in the theatrical cut. So I'm remembering that scene right. The issue is if you take the cop's death out of the PG-13 version, it makes no sense they're coming after them then. And it also makes sense that we never see, like, maybe because we don't see him die in the game, then he didn't actually die, but then why are the cops coming after him? And that doesn't seem to matter later because, what's his name? Jimmy Simpson's character didn't die in the game, and then he died because it played automatically. And then later, we see Swink getting chased by Bathory, and he didn't die in the game, but he's getting chased. And Abigail didn't die in the game, but she's about to get killed. You know what I mean? I didn't mention that in my review, but yeah, she's going to kill Abigail. She didn't die in the game, so yeah, and the game plays automatically to kill October. So yeah, there's also a scene where Abigail's on the toilet taking a shit, and I don't know why that's in there. that was deleted. That's the animated version. But yeah, and I don't know, just a little amendment I wanted to make to this because extra stuff I could have talked about in the review. I have no difference between the unrated and this is the only version I've watched, but I guess I've been trained so much to that scene. I just thought the scene where the cop died was in this, but I guess not. But yeah, so that's that. I just wanted to kind of put a little exclamation point on that review information. I don't want to have to revisit this in a few years, although I might, just to kind of encompass this. But this is just a little amendment that just will go up to amend some things. But anything else I could? Oh, here's something. I didn't realize that the subplot of his parents dying in a fire doesn't come in till like halfway after Jimmy Simpson's death at some point when they're talking about it. And we do see burn marks on Hutch's back earlier in the film, but this doesn't come in. This screams of rewrites. Like, oh, we need, like, they want to have a big finish because they're not going to have the hammer. Apparently, hammering the nails in the corpse brought Elizabeth Bathory to her body, made her mortal. It doesn't kill her, it brings her into her body. So I was wrong on that, apparently. Still fucking stupid. And so he sets her on fire. And then like, okay, we need to be a big character moment. So maybe they added stuff in there. And apparently there's another scene of October smoking. I don't remember it being in the theatrical version, although might not have paid attention at the time. But she goes to light the cigarette. He's like, and then again, could be added after the fact. And that could have also been only in the unrated version, for all we know. I don't know. Apparently, Elizabeth Bathory is naked when she goes to kill Abigail. It's all zoomed in on mine, on the PG-13 version, so I couldn't tell. But yeah, there's a bunch of differences. I might need to rebuy this just for the unrated cut, so I can watch that and know for sure. Hey, here's the better version. This movie's still not in there. So maybe in a few years, I'll buy the unrated cut, watch that, and do a full review of that one or something. I don't know. Maybe I did this, I wouldn't have to, but just a little amendment there to kind of get some other points that after watching their podcast, I'm like, I need to talk about some of this because it baffles me. There's some stuff that's, taken out of the theatrical version. And from all the differences I've heard, I'd say that maybe the unrated version is the way to go. It would work better. So, there's that. But it's a little bit longer. Apparently you feel how long it is by the end. But, yeah. So, thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.